Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to this morning's Coffee on the Couch with me, Sandra D. Coffee on the Couch is a relationship talk show where we talk about anything to do with relationships. And this morning, we're still talking about getting it right. Like we said in the previous shows, this year we don't want to miss anything. We don't want to get our relationships all bumpy. We want to have beautiful, healthy, loving, sweet relationships that we can be proud of. Whether you're dating, whether you're married, whether you're in betweens, whether you're divorced, and you want to start all over again, we are still here. We're trying to help you navigate your way through. And this morning, I have a guest. Still waiting for her to come on, but we'll be talking about getting it right. We want to get it right. And if you've been following us for the last few episodes, we've been talking about getting it right. And we started with the lassie who just came to just break the tables. And then we had Reverend Bachman coming in. And then last week we had Bishop Larry on, and it was just phenomenal. And today I'm not using a man. Today I want to talk to us from a woman's perspective. So even though we're still waiting for her, let's just have a quick conversation. Good morning. Hello. Welcome on. If you want your comments to show, you have to give permission to StreamYard to grant you that access. If not, I wouldn't know who is leaving me a comment. Okay. So if you want me to see your comments, you can just leave me that grant StreamYard the access to do that. And so yeah, whilst we're waiting for her to come on, let's have a conversation. We want to get it right. What are some of the things that you think? Just leave me in the comment section. What are some of the things that you think we'll do if we want to have, or we should do if we want to have beautiful, healthy relationships this year? Relationships that we're proud of, relationships that we can say, damn, I did a good job. And trust me, relationships are not that difficult. I normally say that it is the people in it that makes it difficult. Okay. So if you're in a relationship with somebody that is a troublemaker, then you should be prepared that every time you're going to have issues because that's how the person is. But can you navigate with such a person? There are people that know how to deal with even the most difficult of people. However, when it comes to me personally, and you're very, very difficult, I'll be like, can I do this? No, I don't think that is for me. Okay. And so we're talking about getting it right. And, like just before we end the year or when we're about to begin a new year, people do a lot of resolutions, New Year resolutions, and they write things down and things they want to achieve, things they want to accomplish, how they want to do things in the coming year, and all that. And so, but people most of the time leave their relationships out. They don't talk about it. They don't put it in their resolutions. They do nothing with it. And they think it's going to be que sera. What will be, will be. But if you want to have a healthy relationship, it means that you've got work to do. You have to put in the effort. You have to make sure that you are putting in the work. If you want to get something out of it, you need to be intentional. Now, this morning, my guest is on, and she will introduce herself to us. Okay, and let me just tell you, let me just give you a brief summary of how I met this beautiful lady that we'll be talking to this morning. She's actually my husband's friend. I think they're not I think I know they're schoolmates, so they're old schoolmates. And I got introduced to her, and she's rather my friend than my husband's. She gets it. So I actually like stole her from him. And so this one, when I said to him that, oh, I'm having the show with he says, really? So me, their brother, she's neglected me, and he's doing it with my wife. I'm like, oh well, tough. That's how we roll. So yeah, Delatem, welcome, 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 welcome. It's such an honor. Thank you so much for honoring my invitation, and I know we're going to have a good time. So
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on the show. I put on a lot of weight, have I?
You're talking about your weight. How about me, my dear?
Man. We'll leave that for another day, Sandra. We'll leave that out for another day. Honestly, can't do anything about weight.
Absolutely. How are you, my sister?
I'm keeping well. I'm doing very well. I'm enjoying the grace of God, and we can only say thank you.
Hallelujah to that.
Amen.
Okay, so Deladem, we're talking about getting it right today. But before that, I know that you're a preacher. You're a minister.
Mm.
Let me use that word because, of course, I've been following your worship in the car and stuff, and I enjoy it. So, just in your own few words, tell us who Deladem is.
Deladem, I would say, is just an ordinary girl. I like to describe myself as the chosen of God. Even though I find myself unworthy, God decided to place that honor on me. I have gone through the roller coaster of life, but through it all, I have been kept. I have been preserved by grace, and I embrace what I call this second chance God has given me intentionally.
Yeah.
So this is who I am. Excuse me. So I don't intend to compromise. I don't intend to ruin it. I don't intend to do it anyhow. Somebody would say haphazardly. I don't intend to do it like that at all. So when I chanced upon Coffee on the Couch, you know that the caption "Coffee on the Couch," you might just think you're lounging,
Yeah.
in your favorite PJs or in your favorite jogging bottoms, just lounging, watching Netflix, sipping your coffee through and through until it cools down, and you're like, you have had a good morning, and you wake up and then go on. But then it is a very sensitive thing. It is a very sensitive topic. And so I am very honored to be on this show as what I brand myself as the rebirth of Deladem.
Hey, I love that. I love that. The rebirth of Deladem.
Absolutely.
You and I have gone quite a long way in the previous years. We've seen it all.
Yes.
We've seen the good, the bad, the ugly faces of everything.
You've seen the tears. You've heard the horror stories.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And the thing is, we're not afraid to show our scars.
At all.
Our scars remind us of where God has taken us from, where He's brought us, and where He's taking us.
Absolutely. Unapologetically, I will show my scars to the world. Unapologetically, I will show every single scar and I'll spew it out as raw as it may be.
I'm loving this already. Yes, we will show our scars unapologetically, and that is what we're here to do. And the thing is, I think people actually glean from where we've been to and what we've been through, so that when others are going through, you can tell them, listen, I've been there, done that, and the crown. God took me through it. God took me out of it, and God can do the same for you.
Absolutely.
And so that is absolutely important. I mean, people are shy of their scars or afraid to show their scars.
No.
What I keep telling people, what you see is what you get.
Absolutely.
I come unapologetically me. I don't hide it, Yes. Right. So we're talking about getting it right. So we're going back to the basics of relationship.
Absolutely.
Now, how do we get it right? And then we build up from there.
Okay. So, all day yesterday, this morning, before I came on the show, two things keep ringing in my spirit. Two things. The first one is, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous
do?
People just apply this very verse to spirituality, being Christians or being Christ-like or church, But even if you look at a physical building, once the foundation is cast and the structure is put on top, there is very little you can do when it comes to the foundation.
True.
You may get cracks in the building itself. You can get scaffoldings to hold it, to mold it, to readjust it, to kind of like bring it back to how you want it to be. But the foundation remains the foundation.
Absolutely true.
The foundation, nothing can be done unless you pull down the whole building, take the foundation out, and put a new one in. So the foundation of every relationship, whether you're yet to go in, whether you're actually at the entrance of the relationship, whether you've got a strong foothold in the relationship, that is what I call marriage then. You should think about the foundation. Should you have missed the right foundation, it is not too late at all. You can always make things right.
Absolutely.
You can always make things right. So the foundation is very important. I think 2 weeks ago when you had Reverend Bachman, yes, on the show, he kept touching on values. That values are not church-based. Values are family-based. So I think that getting into a relationship or marriage thereafter, after a relationship, stems from your values, what you've been nurtured with, what you've been brought up with, your family values. Because when you meet somebody, the first thing that naturally, if you're a natural person and you don't pretend, as I don't pretend in relationships, if you're a natural person, the first thing that comes from within you is what you've been nurtured with, your values from your family, from your from your baby days, what has been imputed.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Sandra, don't get me going like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go into relationship with their values. We women go into relationships with expectations. That is wrong.
Unrealistic expectations.
Very out of this world's expectations. And then we have a tick box. I want him tall, 1. I want thick eyebrows, 2. I want very thick lips, 3. He should be a doctor. He should be an architect. He should be a lawyer. He should be an engineer. But this is it. The foundation for going into a relationship, in as much as those things are very important to an individual, they don't make the foundation. They don't at all make the foundation for me.
I like that.
They don't at all make the foundation. Those are the add-ons, those are the extra benefits that the individual has invested in themselves for you to pick, for you to say, oh, those are the add-ons. But the real foundation is the values the individual has been nurtured with or imputed with from his family, that the two of you are coming together to merge into one. To create your own values, deduct your own values from each other. That is what your foundation should be built on. And most importantly, the word of God. God should be the covenant of every relationship. Every relationship should be founded on the God factor. I saw one of your posts on Facebook. You said, put God first. I saw the thing and I said, put God first. Then Matthew 6:33 came to mind. Then I said, God, put God first in everything. In everything. Everything, put God first. Then when I saw the caption, I was like, Mama Sandra, you're releasing things. It's like bullets, releasing one. But see, people just take this in very casually. They take them very casually. So the foundation of every relationship or every marriage, God first, second your values before you go on your tick list and do all the other bits and pieces.
Yeah,
so that is
absolutely
for me.
necessary. Wow. Listen, I told you when we come on, we keep it real and we drop them like they're hot, and that is what the Ladam is just doing now. She's just dropping them in going into a relationship. I know we all come with so many, and I don't call them just expectations. I call them unrealistic expectations, because
They're
we
very
expect the
unrealistic.
person to be like the knight in shining armor, sitting on the white horse with a sword, coming to save us from ourselves and from everything that life throws at us. But it doesn't work that way.
Not at all.
When your values don't align, when your purposes don't align, when your dreams don't align, when your visions don't align, there's no way you can have a healthy relationship. Absolutely not. And so you're talking about the foundation, and foundation is very, very, very important. And I think a few weeks or a few months ago, I said something that if you want to build a skyscraper, the kind of foundation that you put down is different from somebody that just wants to build a bungalow.
That's right.
Because you can't use a skyscraper's weight on the foundation of a bungalow. It will collapse.
It will surely collapse.
We don't think about these things. We just think, sira, what will be, will be. So this morning, we're just going back to the basics. Just we've touched on values and all that, but let's talk a bit more about the core family values, because there's some people that comes from homes that everybody does what they want. Whether you're an adult or you're a child, there's no expectation from you. You can say, I don't want to go to school anymore, and your parents were like, okay, that's your life. They just leave you to it. Now let's go back to those family values, and then we build it up on that into our relationships. How do you think that core family values are important?
I can't overemphasize on family values. For example, we are 4 girls. So you would have seen mom and dad doing things in a particular way. And every time they emphasize on education, I remember when my father was alive, he kept saying one thing back in the day when he was alive, said, whoever wants to attain the highest level of education, I am ready to sell my last pants for you to attain it. He said that over and over and over. I remember in Ghana, when you're doing the O-levels, he will tell you, don't come back home with tadpoles. Tadpoles 9, when you get grade 9, don't come back home with tadpoles. I don't want to see tadpoles on your results. Come back home with something I can be proud of. And he would always say that he would go the extra length. However, that is my family. Some people are not very fortunate to have both parents in the same family unit. Some have had to grow with one parent, either the mother was absent or the father was absent. So for them, they grew up with deficiencies. They grew up with cracks in their lives.
Yeah.
So imagine, for them, it is a normal thing. When you encounter somebody who grew up with cracks in their lives, it is a normal thing. And then they think you also coming from this other unit, you are a different person. They don't see why you are normal. They think they are normal. And you are thinking, no, I think you've got cracks, you got deficiencies. So no, I think you are the problem. you are rather the problem. So with those people, it is very, very difficult. It is very, very difficult, not coming from the same core family, possessing the same core family values as you. It is very, very difficult. So should you encounter somebody like that in a relationship, all you have to do is try to nurture the person to understand you. The Bible says, how can two walk together except they agree? You have to agree. You have to come to the plain level. So when you encounter somebody like that, you have to bring everything back to ground zero. It is not then where you are. That is not when you start imposing your values on the other. No, not at all. That is where a lot of us get it wrong. I grew up like this. I saw mommy doing this way. I saw daddy doing this way. My
Yeah.
dad would yell at my mom and it was normal. No,
Yeah.
not at all. In a family conversation, my mom has no voice at all. So I am the only man in the home. My word is final. It is a no, no, no. So when you encounter somebody who has had deficiencies or cracks in their upbringing, in their own family setting with their values, you have to come to a ground zero. And now that is where you have to try and knead into each other. I remember a very long time ago, a lady I knew in the past, I just forgotten her name now. She spoke to me in Twi and she said, Mami Della. She called my Mami Della. Awareɛ no, ɛte sɛ bɔɔdeɛ ne bankye. Bankye no, wotutu no wɔ fam. Ɛna bɔɔdeɛ no, wotwa from dua no so. Ɛna bɔɔdeɛ no so, nsuo to a, na nsuo no hohoro ne ho kama. I'm sorry for those who don't understand Twi.
That's your loss.
I'm not a kind person, but I've mingled with them so much, so I try to, you know. Nti no twitwa bɔɔdeɛ no na nsuo no hohoro ho kama. Na wohwɛ bankye ya ehu ayɛ fi sei. Na bɔɔdeɛ ne bankye na edi ka fufuo. Na afei obɛwɔ bɔɔdeɛ ne bankye no ɛwɔ wedro baako mu. Then that is when you get the consistency. So what am I saying? Somebody with cracks in their family unit is like the bankye. And then you who have come from a very polished family unit with beautiful values, you wake up in the morning, good morning, mommy, good morning, daddy. And then mom has set the breakfast table and all of that. You went to the posh schools where you do your bourgeois things. You know, if you went to Infantiman or...
You know what I'm saying?
You know, the people who call themselves the top girls school in Ghana, you know what I'm saying? You know, they are the Pechepe girls. They call themselves the Pechepe girls in Ghana, all posh like that. And then you encounter somebody from a Banshee background. You have to find a plain level, come to ground zero. And now, because there'll be certain goods in the Banshee person that you would have been attracted to. Which they've also carrying along. That is not when you call them excess baggage. No. Some of them are not excess baggages, honestly. It is only because their family values did not give them the opportunity, you know, to encounter certain things as they grew on in life, like some of us have been able to, by the grace of God. You know, so you merge and knead into each other. Now that is where the pruning comes in. Okay, I take my leaf out. I think this is a bit too extra for him. I take that out, put on a backbencher. Okay, we take this out, but it only also means that the man and the woman should be able to work together.
You have to understand
each other. Because when a man is coming from such a background, they come with ego. Their egos don't allow them for a woman to say, oh, why did you do that? I don't think that is acceptable. Should you not do it this way? And they'll scream. Before you could even finish your sentence, they yell out.
To me like that. I'm the man. I don't need your opinion.
And I mean, in my past life, I heard it several times. Oh
dear.
You know, so when you know that you're going to say something meaning well, and it's going to be met before you finish your sentence, it's going to be slapped back in your face with a phrase like, then you have to take a backbencher. That is also when you have to have a mentor in marriage. Somebody you both look up to. Because I always say that in this world, your husband or wife may not listen to their parents' voice because of familiarity. But there is an individual out there who they would always listen to. So you can always go to that person. That person should be your go-to person to say, listen, I'm not trying to sell my marital problems, but you are our mentor. You are our father. You are our mother. We look up to you. We emulate you. You know, you are our model type of marriage. We want to take a leaf from, and we want to copy the good things from you. inculcate it into our relationship, and I'm sure you can drive the relationship forward.
Absolutely necessary. And I think you've said it. Hi Edward, hi Sika, hi Araba. Good morning to everyone that is watching us. Hi Auntie Amma. It's so nice to have you watching us this morning. Please leave your comments, your questions, your suggestions in the box so we can talk about them. And you like you rightly said, we all come from two different backgrounds. However, like the Banchi and the Bode, when we come together to pound the fufu, we mix them together to get the nice fufu that we enjoy. But
Absolutely.
if one person wants to now say, my values are right, or it has to be my way or the highway, then we're not getting the foundation right. Then we're not getting the relationship right. But if we want to have a beautiful, healthy relationship, then we need to get that consistency that we're talking about to get it right. It's not about our ego. It's not about where we come from. Growing up, I come from a family that I had like that kind of a princess syndrome kind of a thing, because I'm the only girl. I have three brothers and they're all older, and I'm the youngest. And I went to one of the best schools you can think of. My daughters would say, "Mommy went to grammar school," that kind of a thing.
Of course.
Exactly. So I was like quite I'm still a bit of a posh side. And I still have my infutrum side as well, but I know how to manage both. And so I remember that when I met my husband,
I like that word, infutrum.
He had to get to know both sides of who this girl is, because there are times where my princess's side wants to come out. There are times where my posh side wants to come out. There are times where mom would say, Pete. My pet side also wants to come out. He had to learn how to deal with all of this, And so if two people come from two different backgrounds, as long as we're able to say we want to, the core values of respect, of being loyal, of being faithful, of being able to say, okay, this is where I come from. I don't think this is good. This is chaff. This is the real deal. Let's merge it with yours. Then we can always have a beautiful relationship. But if we want the yes, Eddie, the infutrum side, you know what I mean? When I said the infutrum side, I mean that I can be, I'm not always the push person. There are times where, listen, I know how to, I say to my husband, I know how to abase and how to abound. I can do both. I can survive in every environment you put me in, whether it's in wealth or whether it's in Brookside. I know how to manage and behave myself, But as long as two people are willing to learn and to merge with one another, as long as like the core, we talk about core values. So as long as our core values are aligning, like you rightly said, can two people work except they agree? So, I've lost the line. I've not the line. Okay, but she'll come back anyway. So as long as both of us can merge, we're good to go. And I remember telling you guys, I think I've said it so many times, it's even become like a broken record, where I said that when I got married, I said to my husband, he wasn't romantic, and he had to learn. Okay, so if you're in love with someone and there's something about them that they really like, and as long as you like that person or are in love with that person, you try to meet them. I'm not saying that shove your desires away and take that of the person you're dating. No, you find a common ground. And that is the most beautiful thing about a relationship, compromising. And I say that you compromise, but not to the detriment of your happiness. And so
apologies for that glitch.
That's fine. So as long as we're able to find that common ground, as long as we're able to find that compromise, that doesn't mean that you're throwing your core values away or you're throwing what you believe in away, but we're finding the common ground to build a healthy relationship. Absolutely. That's what we're talking about this morning. So please leave your comments and your anything you want to ask us as well. You're good to go. Sika says, the Banchi background. I know. Yes. She said, right, learning a lot. Edward said the infutrum side. Yes, we've all got those sides as well. And we've all got those in food from side. So now, how do we get it right when we are married? But we're talking about going back to the drawing board.
Mm.
You've been married before, so you know the ins and outs of it. I mean, I keep saying that as long as it is not abuse, anything is workable if two people want to make it right. So let's talk about it, because you mentioned it from the beginning that I mean, when you're married as well. So let's go back through it. How do we get it right when we are married?
I'm glad you said once it's not abuse, anything is workable. I remember my pastor once said, Dela said, Achia na se embuye nkwadia, you can fix it. You know. If it's bent and it's not broken, you can fix it. If it's broken beyond repairs, and your sanity is at stake, then I'll say that run.
Absolutely.
The Bible says flee. The Bible says flee, I'll say fly. You have to be far away. You have to be far away. There are a lot of marriages. I find a lot of Christian marriages that are battling issues. I'm sorry to say it, but too many Christian marriages are battling issues. Simply because I personally believe that from my experience, we went in from an angle of who we see the individual in church to be.
I like that you're mentioning this. I'm so glad you are mentioning this.
We see the individual in the presence of God to be. Reverend, I go back to, I took a lot of leave for Reverend Bachman's show with you,
Yeah.
He says the church is full of pretenders. There's so much pretense. There's so much pretense in the house of God. We put up an act, a show. We come acting. We don't come real. We don't come just as we are. So much so that you see a brother or a sister in church, you meet them outside of church, and you wonder whether it's the same person or it is their photocopy you're seeing outside of church. It is so sad.
Yeah.
It is so sympathetic. So there are so many sick and ill marriages in church, and it saddens my heart. But that is what we want to see. So what we see is what we see.
Absolutely.
I remember before I married my ex-husband, I remember one woman of God, two men of God, my pastor included, asked me very sensitive questions. The woman of God asked me, why are you forcing God to give you what he doesn't want to give you?
Oh, dear.
I took it on a very light side, like, why am I forcing God? My pastor friend from Ghana also ran, we were talking. He calls me by a coded name. He says, many a thing. He said, if you are no more, if you are money, so he calls me Ifua. So he said, Ifua. He said, Ifua. Why are you forcing God to give you something? I've been praying for you, and it's like you're forcing God to give you something that he doesn't want to give you. Then I said, I'm not forcing God, I'm only praying, But that time, I have personally made my mind up. I'm going in.
You're going to get married, yes.
Despite the red flags, I still said, me worry.
Yeah.
I'm marrying. Like you said at the beginning, Sira. What will be?
Yeah, exactly.
What will be?
Yeah.
My pastor asked me, they're like, yeah, sure. So it's me, our Branty. I said, yeah. With a smile and gleam on my face. Oh yeah. When we were counseling, our counselor asked me on one-on-one, not together, one-on-one session with him. He said, how would you tackle issues in your marriage? I ignorantly, foolishly, and stupidly said, "Oh, by prayer."
Okay. Hey.
Sandra? Oh, I called Mama Sandra. When the storms hit, prayer was out of the window.
Yeah.
I lost my prayer life. I was losing my sanity. I think the prayers of people around me kept me. And this is what you're seeing today.
Yeah.
Prayers of other people and the grace of God, that covering, that kept me.
Yeah.
So if you have gotten the foundation right, there is one person who fixes foundations, and is God.
Absolutely right.
If you are about to go in and the foundation is wrong, it's not like it's shaking, no, it is all wrong. I'm not talking about a shaking foundation. I'm talking about a very inappropriate, a very wrong foundation.
Yeah.
Madam, Massa, back out. Back out in time. Don't even have a second thought. Back out.
That's so
Don't
true.
even step in at all. Because you know what? When the storms start hitting you, it will take a special grace of God.
Absolutely.
To sustain you. Otherwise, you lose yourself.
Yeah. That is so
But
true.
if you are already in the marriage and as there are cracks in your foundation, it is the responsibility of the two of you to be frank with you. In fact, Genesis 2:15 says God put the man in the garden to work at it and take care of it. So a lot of women think that Obey-Mano is the one to make the marriage work by all means and at all costs. And so every little problem, they see it with the man. The man has a responsibility. Women, we have responsibilities as well.
True.
It is knowing how to audition your role in the marriage, aligning yourself in the will of God for your marriage, so that when the foundation has a defect, you go back to the manufacturer, which is God.
Absolutely. And I think we tagged on that last week when we talked about the warranties. Yes,
you did. The manufacturer has no 2-year, 3-year warranty or guarantee to the product.
Yeah.
If he's created us for his glory, in his own image, after his likeness, it means that throughout our time in existence on this earth, he has solutions to every problem.
Absolutely right.
But if God has not planted you in that marriage and you put yourself in the marriage like I did, God will make the waters very bitter.
Mara.
Very bitter. Like Mara. Mara. Oh, hey. The waters will be so bitter because God will have to find a way of bringing you out to take you back in. Yes. So I said, God took me out to bring me back in. God took me out to bring me back in, back into his will, back into his fold, back into his purpose, to align you back into that vision for your life. So if your foundation is cracked, go back to the manufacturer. You did not meet that man or woman by chance. Destiny brought you together. But destiny has a purpose and a plan for that marriage or for that relationship. And so if you both realize that, no, we entered the relationship or the marriage from this angle of physical attraction. Now, I started from saying, oh, thick lips, dark, thick, like some of my friends still laugh at me. The lad they saw it and they be up a mema tinting gram. I said,
yeah, that is so true. I
said, not quite though. I said, oh yeah, it's true. I said, well, when you've been bitten once or twice, and you know that the tintingram, thing is not working. It has to be the way of the Lord and not your tintingram thing.
Absolutely.
So you always have to come from that angle. Eradi, you put us together. especially when your marriage or relationship was birthed on the covenant of what God has for the two of you.
Yeah.
If you came together from that angle, go back to God. Even so, if you did not come from that angle, God is a merciful God. He will show us mercy, however, if you're willing to make things right, and He has a purpose for the two of you to keep you together in the marriage. He would find a way, and you have to be willing.
Yeah.
The two of you have to be willing
to work
and
the work.
To work. You have to put it to work. Marriage is work, oh. Marriage is not a bed of roses. Sandra.
You know what? I've written something down. Let me just interrupt you. I've written something down. I haven't actually posted it yet on my Facebook, but I wrote that this morning. I said relationships or marriage or whatever. I mean, we're talking about relationships. It's not a bed of roses. However, you are not supposed to walk on the thistles and thorns.
Absolutely.
If you think that there are thorns there and they're pricking your feet, please run,
fly, and flee
in there. No, and I think what you're saying is so true. But see, a lot of women, we stay in unhealthy, toxic relationships, all in the name of I can manage, or I will endure, or I will make it work. And then you by the time you are awake, you've wasted like 10, 15 years of your life, and you're thinking, how foolish was I when God was giving you all avenues to escape? Yet you're like, oh, baby Anjuya, it rains everywhere. And I say, it rains everywhere, but it doesn't flood everywhere. It doesn't flood everywhere. It's
even if it floods everywhere, even if it floods everywhere, and your gutters, if all your gutters are not blocked and they are not soaked with filth and dirt, okay, it will flood, but the gutters to take care of the flood and push it out.
No. I love that. I'm really enjoying those mornings and conversation. And there's a few, Arva says a lot of women say that by prayer. I know, and then we stay. And Sika says there are counselors who still preach prayer to solve issues. Oh, I know, and they refuse to face the practicality that is on the ground. Oh, go and pray, God will answer you. Listen, I'm not against prayer, but there's a place for prayer and there's a place for common sense.
Absolutely.
Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Grace doesn't mean that you have to be foolish. No, actually, grace makes you very wise. But we take it for granted. Oh, God will give you the grace to endure. Come on, girlfriend. It's time for you to wake up. We want to get our foundations right. And so, like the Ladam has shared, if you are married and if it is not abuse, then both of you can put in the work to make it work. Go get professional help, seek professional counseling, seek therapy, whatever area that you think you need help with. But if this person is being abusive to you, please, for the sake of love, run for your life.
Run.
Because listen, I think it was a few years ago when this Nigerian gospel singer was beaten to death.
Yes. What's her name? Sinachi?
No. There's another one. I've forgotten her. Yeah. I don't know.
I can't remember her name. Yes. Yeah.
And then there's this other girl in America that got shot by a supposed pastor husband because he was abusive. Yes. And this man drove to the girl's workplace early in the morning.
Yes.
And he shot her at close range.
A Ghanaian couple, isn't it? Yes.
Premeditated murder.
Yes.
Simply because she's leaving.
Yes.
I mean, you see these things and they're so glaring in the face, and you still want to stay in the name of God hates divorce. Is God excited that you've lost your life? No, because you haven't finished the purpose for which He brought you to earth. So let's be wise. Let's get the foundations right. If you tell me God hates divorce, separation is allowed. For the sake of your sanity, separation is allowed.
Then you might as well be separated for as long as it takes.
And so please, you are not allowed to walk on thorns just because you think relationships are not bed of roses. No, listen, roses are beautiful. I love roses.
Roses
have
beautiful.
thorns on them.
They do.
Bottles have thorns on them.
They do.
Unless
If you don't pick them rightly, they do.
Exactly. You know. So let's get it right this year. Let's get it
We
right.
have to get it right.
Over to you, my sister. Please go on.
We have to.
Yeah.
One thing, can I mean, saying that, I'm just going to continue. You made a comment there. Seek help, seek help, seek help.
Yeah.
Most of us Christians, seeking help means going back to the church. That is all we know.
Yeah, we don't seek
that is all.
professional
That is
help.
that
Yeah.
we've been stereotyped to see church as everything. Church is there to help us. Some relationships, you know, they let me just say it raw, you know. Just say a bone.
Can.
Nti sɛ bi asɔre ne kura no ɔmo abrɛ mo. Asɔre na kasa ɔmo abrɛ mo. Certain times, you know, professional counseling is good.
Yeah.
Professional counseling, a neutral person.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a neutral person, non-biased person would actually help the two of you heal better in the relationship, because most of the time, no, either partner is bruised, either partner is carrying hurt, either partner is bitter, either partner is so resentful in the marriage.
Yeah.
So they don't see the good in the other.
Yeah.
They don't see the good at all.
Yeah.
Because all they do, listen, assemble 10 couples right now, and then start talking to them randomly, not actually dwelling on anything. Hey, my worry there. Oh, my idea pa. Hey, sana wuhuno. She. Oba wenye mianka, bema wenye mianka. That is all you hear. We are enduring. We are tolerating. We are not living purposefully in the marriage with the intention to need or feed into each other's purpose and visions and enjoy the marriage or the relationship. But for me, that is what marriage should be. I carry my vision, you carry your vision. We support each other, we cushion each other.
Yeah.
Then see the good in each other, where the weaknesses are. That is where you have your strength. Lean on each other's strengths. Don't always dwell on the weaknesses. You know, you only portray your wife or your husband when people are around you to be the angel or the princess or the Oga. But once it's the two of you in the same space, what is that? What is that?
It's sad.
It's sad. You can't be in each other's space for the whole day without. Why did you do that? Or what did I say? Oh, and then I mean, the whole lifetime for me, literally every time I've had to say, me sorry. I'm sorry.
Apologizing.
You always for the things you don't even know you have done. I mean, even you haven't done anything, you say sorry because you've made a comment that doesn't sit well with the other. They quickly get angry and get upset, and you know that if I don't apologize, it's going to escalate, it's going to get heated.
Yeah.
And you know, back in the day, to me, back in the day, to me, no, what you say, you know,
you know what? It's so true. But the thing is, because the thing
but then you have to know. Sometimes, let me just finish it. You have to know, say, this is my wife. This is how she is. You know, somebody said, "Hey, the lady, what dear, confident dear, this is my wife. This is how she is." You know, said this is how she is. But this about her would compliment me and take me the long haul. That is why I am actually getting her in, with God's approval, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Some men are they lead. They are the pace setters. Some women want to be, you know, at the forefront. The men don't mind at all because they also think that she is my anchor. She is my strength. She's, you know, Bruni says she's my other half. If the person is your other half, it means that take this half away, bring another half in. It has to need in, has to complement the other half.
Yeah. That's so true.
And help is very important in healing every broken or crooked or cracked foundation. If you
Yeah,
think the church is not able to help you, seek professional help. Therapies are out there. So many therapies are out there.
absolutely right.
Excuse me.
There are
Therapies
a lot of
as
therapies
little
out
as
there.
taking the two of you on a holiday. Leave the
Mm,
children out. Go on a holiday. Go away.
that
Switch your phones
is
off.
so true.
Talk
Yeah.
among talk, the two of you.
Talk.
Mini talk.
Yeah.
Be as raw and naked as you could ever be without
Yeah.
pretense. Be
Yeah.
very, very raw. By the time you come back, you realize that, oh, you know what? You'll finish that session, the holiday session, think when we're holiday, but actually you've gone to heal yourselves. And you
Absolutely
come back
true.
seeing the new
Mm.
you and the new other
Yeah,
half.
that is so true. That is really, really true. You've actually said it. I mean, you're so right. You're so right. And the thing is, I think that even before we get married, a lot of us see all these red flags, and yet we say
Jim,
when we get married, they will change, or he will
I
change, or she
told you,
will
I said
change.
by prayer. Me answer, and
Yes,
I give one answer. But
yes. And
by
then
prayer.
and then we get married and we see the devil wears Prada. Then we're like,
The Prada has gone. They have worn the Prada, Sandy. We can see them wearing the Prada now, even in the dark. So they are wearing
exactly,
other things now. We can't even see. But that is
exactly.
when we need that discernment spirit,
It's
discernment.
absolutely
The discernment.
necessary.
Holy Spirit, help me
Yes.
discern. Who is this
Mm,
man? Pray up to
mm,
God about the man or the woman you want to go into marriage with. Who
yeah.
is this man? Who is this woman? Does the
Mm,
person fit into your vision for my life, your
yes.
purpose for my life, my dreams, my passions? Sandra, Abrofunum, I like them for certain things. Also, why didn't you marry her? Oh, we don't have the same passions. Oh, what
Yes.
passions do you
But
have?
you see, and
Oh,
that
I
is
go,
you
I
see,
go
I think
fishing. Oh, I like to
Africans.
fish. She doesn't like to go fishing. Oh, I like horse riding. She
Mm,
doesn't like horse riding. Oh, I like walking in the woods. She doesn't like it. Nti no
mm,
kro no. It's just wa cross wo kro wi. Nti
yes.
no, you don't have the same pastime with
That is
leisure.
so true. You
You
know
know.
that what you're saying is so true, and I think that we have to actually let this our African generation, we have
Yeah.
to let them be
Yeah.
aware. I
Yeah.
always say that apart from your purpose, your visions that are aligning, certain things need to align as well. Compatibility is very, very important. Um, if I want to go on a hike, do you want to come with me? If I want
That's
to
right.
go swimming, do you want to come with me?
That's right.
If he wants to go do something, do I want to go with him? All
I
these
love. I
things.
always say that. I like fine dining every now and then.
Oh
So if
yes,
I'm
me
talking about
too.
fine dining, and you're taking me
Mhm.
to Nando's and Chinese and McDonald's, you missed it. You missed it, crap. Yeah,
Oh yes, I
fine
love fine
dining.
dining.
I like fine dining once in a while. Back in
Yes,
the day, I'll take myself out fine dining. It told me about cotton
yes.
and Nando's. Nando's akoko nam dia. Masa, you've missed it. You know.
Do you know something? You saying this? I my late father was a hotelier. And so I
Oh
grew
wow.
up, yes, I grew up in the settings of these kind of a thing where fine dining was part of like our Sunday stuff. And so when I got married, or just before we got married, I had to let my husband know that me once a while, this is the kind of things I want.
Hey,
And
wahana, mami. Sandra, wahana.
no, my husband will he's the one that actually goes to source things out and come to take me. I'm a very homely person.
He,
I can stay home
he,
all year without going out and I'm
the,
cool.
the little
Oh, I've lost her again. She's going to come back. And so once we're able to merge or to find a common ground, we can let our relationships work. Okay, get to know what the other person likes. And I'm sure most of you have heard me say this over and over and over again. I can cook all day, I won't get tired. Ask me to go grocery shopping, and I'm like, no, I'm not going out. I wouldn't go because I
very,
hate doing
he's
grocery.
very homely.
Yes,
He's very hands-on. I think because he also grew up in the midst of Mankwa,
women, yes.
So exactly, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
carrying
We've
out
got
such chores is
four
kind of like
sisters.
second nature to him.
Yeah. You see, but the thing
Yeah.
is, there's some men that, or some women that will never find the common ground for what their other half likes. Never. it has to be my way. I love this. It has to be me. It has to be done by me. It
Mm-hmm.
has to be this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if these things are not talked about when you're dating, I'm sorry, but the marriage is not going to work.
You have to. And that is what you rightly said. You have to come out of this this African mentality. Na and you know, entity no more you know, or bad year and odi wakako to duane wa bonti fa do na munti ni fina mundi. No. Oh no, please, no. I'm sorry, but no.
Let's say, I think that every girl loves to have fine dining once in a while.
You have to. If you don't, if you don't like fine dining,
the McDonald's and KFCs and Nando's.
Forget about that. So that's what I buy for. That's what I buy for my son now. Do you want chicken and chips? Yes, mommy. Then okay. Then that's what I do. No, McDonald's and KFC. Leave it for the kids. Fine dining where you can, the two of you can talk. Absolutely. You know, you're sipping your drink, you're sipping your wine, you're having some really good meal, and then try new things. Couples, please try new things.
Explore. I think people also don't explore.
Try new things. You know, new destinations.
They're so
even
used
taking
to
yourself.
Environment.
Yes, taking yourself to get a child minder, getting yourself to the movies. Nice movie is on. Go out to the cinema, sit with popcorn, just laugh at each other, crack a joke. Whilst doing that, you're learning something from the movie. You know,
absolutely necessary.
But that is not when you put a Nigerian movie on or a Ghanaian movie on. Aha, Mikaye, unso bano ye kache no tonye se. Enu na he. I south to bano na message I will fear han. No. What's out of that? Come on.
This is so funny. I think that probably because of the way I was brought up or where I grew up, when it comes to being posh, I can be very posh.
Oh, I know you, Sandra. You're so posh. You are so on point, so posh.
I'm not very keen on these especially the Ghana movies. I can't watch them. I literally cannot sit down to watch. I can't even listen. I hardly listen to, I'm so sorry, Ghanaian preachers. I can't listen to them. I'm not saying they're bad. No.
I mean, it's because of where you're coming from. That is what we're talking about, values, you see.
You know,
that is what the value is coming.
And laugh, but I'm like, I don't find it funny.
Yeah. Exactly. You don't find it funny. Exactly. No. But he does. So you make room for him to listen. And then he makes room for you to also listen to what you find interesting.
Exactly.
You know, what motivates you, what spurs you on, you know.
It's so important.
So that is where the needing comes in. That is where the compromising comes in. Not compromising stupidly and foolishly, compromising wisely.
Yes. That is so true. That is so true. I mean, I always say that you need to compromise, but not to the detriment of your happiness. Because some people, I know some women put their lives on hold to see their men through school. And this lady will be working all the shifts in the hospital. Listen, she does like 12-hour shifts, and
She finishes and tells the husband, Fankolanu childman, and then she goes to do cleaning another 4 hours before picking up the children, coming home to cook, and then all that business.
And then the guy finishes law school. This is a true story. The guy finishes law school and realizes that, this girl is not my class. Are you for real?
Yeah. If you're back to school, you're pursuing higher academic qualification or laurels, I want to do something along the line. Let me also do it. You know, let's find where we place the kids so that we're all on the same level. You know, you don't class me, you don't put a tag on me. Now a second class. You say, you're not in my class. You know, you're not in my class. No, what do you call class then? When you married me, I was in your class, but because you actually went to do BSc or whatever, a master's in law, now I'm not in your class. Oh no.
Because she's just.
But it's just getting it right. Getting it right. I can't overemphasize on getting the foundation right. So the moment you coming in from that relationship angle. No, don't compromise at that point. No,
No.
don't compromise at all. You are an individual. He's an individual. You're merging into each other. So put all your passion, your visions, your dreams, your purpose, your plans, put it bare before each other.
Absolutely.
And agree. If possible, give your time, yourselves time scales. Okay. We marry this time, children will come in this way, and all of that. How are we going to treat in-laws and outlaws? How are we going? All of that. It's a whole project. Marriage for me is a whole project you have to look at, in a holistic way. The spiritual side of things, the financial commitment here and there, But
absolutely, that's so true.
Where I come from, Ghana for no. You just said, when you're quote and unquote, you're ripe, so you have to go and marry. A man comes, you might know, you bit in your show. The moment it's a bit in your show. He can take good care of you. He's got he's not got he's not built, but he's renting. He's okay. He's got a good job, stable job. He's got a car. He's in church. He's a Christian.
He's a Christian.
Yes, he's a Christian. But that is the same example you gave in America, the Ghanaian pastor who shot his wife.
Wasn't he a Christian? He was a Christian. Yeah.
He drove to the girl's workplace, waited for the girl in his car. The girl came out, about to enter.
And just shot her
down. And that's it. A pastor. That is a pastor. Which means that the real individual
was in there. The devil was in the detail.
The devil, no, I share a coat. He
was just wearing the Prada for you to see that he's posh, but deep down,
that's what I said. You don't always go for them when you see them in church. Know them for who they are. Absolutely. Know the individual for who. If you want to know me
we know man after the flesh.
After the flesh, absolutely. The Bible says, "Test all spirits." Pray about the person. Pray really, very, very well, and be convinced beyond doubts. So the person with all his excesses, or the person with all her excesses and baggages, I'm ready to embrace this individual. And please, women. Please, I'm going to use this platform to appeal to all women.
Yes.
This thing of yening to be by mefanisano.
Oh dear.
It's nonsense.
It is nonsense.
It is nonsense. You are an individual. You have a purpose. You're a woman. I saw something on Instagram yesterday. The lady was 70, looking like she's 55 or 45, now getting married beautifully. When your time comes, God will glorify you.
Yes.
When your time comes, God will beautify you. Just make sure you are in the will of God. You are aligned in the will of God. And let God lead you to that man. If they come proposing, don't be under any pressure. There's no pressure anywhere.
No.
There's no pressure. Who says I'm not advocating say you should have your children out of wedlock. But if the only reason but don't be pressurized, to marry for other reasons than you can handle in the marriage. No.
Yeah.
It will drive you to your grave early.
Absolutely.
The grace that God has placed on my life to give me a second chance to see this day and be on this program. If God does not give you the same grace and sustain you through and through, you won't survive.
Yeah.
You will die. Stress.
So true. It's so true. Arba says, say that again. Age isn't a warrant to settle for bad relationships. And then Ikua says, tell them marriage is best at the right time when you have patience and meet the right person. Absolutely. And that was what we're saying. Just wait for the right time.
Wait for the right time. Wait for the right person. The right time, the right person. And it will shock you, will amaze you. Said that the whole time you have waited to marry at 50 or at 45 or at 40 or at 38 or whatever age you are at, you realize that the years ahead of you, will be from. I don't even know how to say that in English.
Absolutely. You will just flourish. Flourishing in there. You will just be flourishing.
The years ahead of you, it will be effortless. God will give you the effortless grace to enjoy the marriage through and through. and it will
Yeah.
double everything. You just realize you're married, you're having children, and everything is working for you, and you're flourishing, and
Yeah.
you're succeeding, and everything will fall in alignment for you.
That's so
So
true.
please, ladies, don't let us not be in a haze because our friends are married and they'll come and testify, oh, hallelujah, I've been married for 15 years. It is your time. We thank God for you.
And the
When
thing
my
is that,
time comes,
Stella,
God will
even
make it
if you
happen.
remember for 15 years, is it 15 years of happiness or 15 years of endurance?
Well, in church, we say it so that
You see, we're full of masks. We
it
have
is the
masks.
real people who
Oh
know
my
you outside
God.
of church who will say, 15 years, but you know how my testimony. It's a 15 years. I've been there, I've seen it all. Yeah, what my from sang, and then make up no year, pen akata is car back, so no, the bejina high there, that
Hey,
kind of
it's
a
time
thing.
for these masks to fall off.
Honestly, I
Hmm.
remember back in the day, one of my friends in church used to say, oh, Leo says you've worn your mask again. I don't know how you do it. You spoke to me last night. You were thrown apart, you were bruised, you were crying, you were wailing, and you've come to church, holding the mic and talking, smiling through. I always said you wear a mask. You always mask up. I don't know how you do it.
My
She
God.
always pray with me. At the end of the day, said, you're so strong. What happened to you? A lot of women would have lost their mind. They would have gone to the mental health setting by now. And I
Yeah.
keep telling her, I said, God has an assignment for me. That is why God gave me the bitter waters, the Mara, so that nobody pursue me. I pursue myself. I pursue myself out. I
Yes, you
pursue
have to get
myself out.
yourself out for your
I
own
pursue
sanity's sake.
myself out for my sanity's sake.
If not,
Because
you would
hey,
have. I'm sure by now you have been dead.
oh,
One day they
Sandra,
will just knock your head
I'm sure
against the
your
wall.
husband would have come to have my burial wherever they've taken
Please.
my body to how many years ago, a long time ago. But thank God for the grace is preserved as we are here,
Yeah,
And the most important thing is we're living a purposeful life now.
absolutely.
Okay. We're
Absolutely.
living the God
Let me
kind
just
of
read
life
what the quote
now,
says. Yeah,
you
the
know.
quote says some of us we have regrets, marriage, and sometimes you be in the wrong marriage and you chat with other men. Yes, and it's happening.
It's
Because you're not
happening.
getting what you think you're supposed to get from the man
Yes.
you're with, and so
Yes.
you're getting all the emotional support and connection from outside,
From other
which
exactly.
is so wrong. In all
Which is so wrong
fairness,
because
so
the day the emotional support is to come through when you need it the most, then that is where I don't know. Let me not say that is where you think, you know what, I've lost the will to live and
yeah,
I'm checking out.
do you know
That is where
what? And I
lots of
don't think that
women commit suicide and
anybody needs
all of
to
that.
get to that place or that point where you think I've lost the will to live because I'm in a bad marriage. Please get out and get help.
Sandra, I like the way you emphasize on get out and get help. Get out and get help.
Yes,
I
because
like that.
you see
I
that
like
is
that.
the only
Get
thing
out
that
and get
will
help.
help you. Because if
Get
you
out
stay
and
in
get
there,
help.
you can't stay in termites and try to fight off termites. It won't work.
No,
But when
not
you
at
take
all.
yourself out, then you can now, get the termites off you. But if you stay in there, whilst they are getting off, they're crawling up. Whilst you're telling them off, they're crawling up. So you can't stay in there and think you can get help. But once you get out, then you have a clear mind to think of your next step.
Your next
And I
move.
think that
Yep.
a lot of women also stay in all these unhealthy relationships and marriages because of financial constraints. Because this man has become your sole provider. So when you
And
go out,
that is where the abuse intensifies. When the
exactly,
man
because you're
becomes the sole
relying on him.
provider, because he's your everything.
Absolutely.
You see him as everything.
That is so true.
Everything.
That is
So
so
when
true.
he's even abusing you, you find it very difficult to come out. And some women also use the excuse and qualanity.
That is, and I keep
For
saying
the
that the
children.
reason why you should actually live is
But
for the children.
it's for the children. Leave leave for the children. Leave the marriage and be sane for your children. But no, I think this platform is so good. We need so much education, both ways, both women and men need so much education. I mean, we talk about women as if we are the only victims. There are so many men out there
I was
who
going to
are
say
also
that.
suffering.
Yes, that
Men
is so
are
true.
suffering. They are suffering in silence because you know why?
Because,
They cry
society has
secretly.
put that kind of cap on them. Yes.
Absolutely. That men, you have to go out there, mingle with your,
man up.
You have to. You got biceps, you got broad shoulders, weather it.
Yeah. You know what?
Weather it.
We will have to do this again, where we will now just broaden it a bit as to, I mean, we're talking about all this, getting all this, and I think a lot of women are now coming up to say, yeah, that is so true, that is so true. But we need to do it again and talk about empowering ourselves as women, being content as women, being able to be purposeful as women, taking the next step as women, and knowing what God has for us as women. It's absolutely necessary. This year, we're not joking. This year, we want to see the fullness of God in our lives, in every area of our lives.
We're not joking at all.
No. Listen, Allah is going to come back again.
Could I also say that men out there, and I'm sure men will bear me out there, that a lot of men out there want a woman who is independent, financially sound. You've got a good career. You have a sense of who you are.
Yeah.
So they don't have to come and do all the work.
Yeah.
Spiritually, you're solid. Financially, you're not there. Like loaded, but you're there. You've got a very stable career. You're confident in yourself. You carry yourself with glamour. You walk out there with your head high. You're not arrogant. You're not proud. You're not rude. You're just you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then I think a lot of men out there are looking for such women. Not the one that will say, give me. So once he's driving the car out of the driveway, I'm just going down the road. How about Tonchini Brown and Chinasa? Even if he's going to sit with his friends to watch football and have a little chit chat and catch up, you're like, I know free coffee fee and bar. Oh, some I not on Jenny no. Let me Jenny bag back. I mean, a lot of men are coming out of that as well, because you know what, it is the weight on their shoulder that is killing them. They're weathering too much, but they can actually handle.
Absolutely true.
Emotionally, psychologically, financially, mentally. Why wouldn't exactly? Well, I was going to say, why wouldn't a man also lie on the bed? After I had this, for the woman to also wake up in the middle of the night, come to the living room, and then pitch a spiritual tent, and also take the whole atmosphere, on your shoulders and say, God, my husband is sleeping, but I'm here. I'm battling it out with you on behalf of my husband for this issue to be settled. Yeah. I think we have to come to that. Is what you've said. We women, we have to stand up. We need to go to the next level.
Absolutely.
Not about academics alone, or not talking about eloquence, or not talking about, I'm here and I've achieved A, B, C, D. No. Supporting each other, holding each other's hands. Let's do sisterhood. Let's do sisterhood this year.
I love that. And so, like I said, this year we're not joking. Thank you so much, Delatem, because it's a Saturday and I'm sure you've got quite a few things to do, and you've spent the right now with me here talking. And I've really enjoyed myself. We have to do this again.
Anytime.
We need to do this again, because I've really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of the women can actually align with what we're saying. It says, gentle, classic lady, but wait, if the money no day, how do one leave? Okay, we'll need to answer this really quick before we go.
Okay.
How do one leave a bad marriage? Gentle, classic lady, but wait, if the money no day, how do one leave a bad marriage? I'll leave that for you to we wouldn't go. We'll answer this.
Does it mean that if the woman is not financially stable or sound, is that what it means?
Yes, she's saying that if there's no money, how do one leave a bad marriage? If you don't have the money to support yourself, how do you leave a bad marriage?
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Ekuya, so what would you prefer? To be in a rather bad marriage, being afraid of the financial deficiencies around you, and then losing your life? Would you rather move out into a family home, or a friend who understands that you're going through a phase of your life, who is willing to support you, and then you can get yourself a job, even if it's a trade? Sandra, I always say one thing. Say me the ladder muhumisano. even if it comes to selling pure water, I'll put this lipstick on,
Yeah.
I'll tie my duku, and the way I'll sell pure water. So come on, do top. You buy because you have to buy.
Yeah.
Okay. So all I'm saying is, if you don't have financial cushioning, but in a toxic marriage, Ekuya, please, I'm sure you have
get
friends.
out and get help. She said she wants a friend to leave. Yeah.
Oh, please help a friend. We're doing sisterhood. Even if it means you are in a 1-bedroom, can you not? You put a student mattress down. Say,
On the floor.
Come, bring your 3 children. Come and sleep on the floor. One will sleep on the sofa. I'll put another cushion here. I'll go and buy a mat from the shop. Put one here. We'll all squash there until such a time you find a job. For the sake of a friend and the children, to have sanity of mind and live for the children. That alone is and a lifetime achievement, and will attract a lot of blessings into your life.
That is so true.
So
That
please
is so,
don't
so,
say
so true.
because you're not financially sound and strong or whatever, cushioned, you're not living a toxic marriage. You will die before the money will reach you.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And that is why we encourage all women to be financially sound. Whether you are a stay-at-home mom or you're working, listen, an extra source of income is now actually not a luxury. It's a necessity, especially if you have children. Anything that will bring you an extra income is a plus. She says, okay, we didn't go too fast yet. You need to listen. And before you leave any abusive marriage, there's something called exit route. Maybe sometime I'll find time to do a lesson on that. You need to find your exit route. How safe you are going to be, how safe your children are going to be, and how you're going to manage your life when you leave that marriage. Okay, we're not saying that divorce the person, but get out and get help. That's my thing.
Get help.
So even if it means patching with a friend, like the Ladem said, until such a time when you are okay to be on your feet again, to take care of yourself and your children. Yes, listen, in an abusive relationship, you're not safe. Because the day when he's really angry and he hits you and your head hits the wall, you're dead. You're gone. Now, what are your children going to do? What is your parents going to do? And so think about these things. It's not all about the money. Araba said, I left a millionaire. Yes. And I'm one of these days I'll get her and you'll have to come on, share her story. Okay. She got divorced at a very young age, and it wasn't even through an abusive partner, but she had to go for the sake of her own sanity. And I said this to the glory of God, that they've actually now reconciled, but they've both worked on themselves and they have a beautiful relationship after 6 years of being apart. Okay.
That's it.
And so these are the kind of things that it doesn't matter about the money. For me, if you give me the whole world and you abuse me, I will walk away. I will walk away. Take your millions.
I will run away from you.
Exactly. Okay. So it's not just about the money, or my children. Your children should actually not grow up in a toxic environment.
No. It will affect them.
Yes, two things happen to children that grow up in abusive homes. They either become a perpetrator when they grow up, or they become a victim. It's not middle ground. Because they think it's acceptable. It's okay. I saw mommy doing this, I saw daddy doing that. And so it becomes a part of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's let our children know that beautiful, healthy marriages and relationships are out there for them to explore. Okay, so let's take them out of that. It says, it's okay, thanks so much, sis. I appreciate these words of encouragement. Yes, please. As long as you have life, you can restart your life again.
You can restart from anywhere at any point in your life.
Absolutely.
But if you lose your sanity, that is, you've lost it all.
You know?
If you lose your mind, that is the end of you.
Yes.
And God forbid, if you're not able to regain yourself back, you're ruined forever.
Forever. You know, and so we don't want that to happen to any of our sisters or even our brothers out there. So please, irrespective of who you are or where you are in life, we want you to get it right this year. We want every marriage to be beautiful. We want every relationship to be beautiful, to be the kind of relationship or marriage that God has ordained for you for this year. And so until we come your way again next week with another mind-blowing conversation, listen, guys, just keep safe. Keep safe. Keep healthy. Right. If you have any questions for Della, please, she's on Facebook. That's her name there. She's on Facebook. Just DM her and she will be glad to assist you, to help you, to counsel.
I'll be too happy to help.
Yes, and to offer the little help that she can. And she does this
Absolutely.
wonderful thing called worship in the car. So if in the morning you're down and you think, what can I do? Just log onto her page and you will see her just worshiping in her car. And just join in.
I
Great
worship
things
on
are
my way
happening.
to work, and I call it
Yes,
every time is worship time. So yeah,
absolutely. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we don't want anybody
Yeah.
to be left out this year. We
Not at all.
all doing it together. We all in it
We're doing
together.
sisterhood this year.
You know where to find me
Yes,
if you need me. Just
absolutely.
inbox me and I'll be glad to help. Dela, God bless you so much. Thank you for
Masandra, thank
spending
you so
your
much.
Saturday morning with me
Thank you
and my
so
love
much.
to the little
I've
prince.
learned a lot. I've learned a lot for the past 3 weeks. I've been listening and I've learned a lot, a lot, a lot. I'm still learning, you may never know. If I
You may
find a
never
prince
know.
charming again, you may never know. So that all those
And
golden nuggets.
I pray that
Yeah.
you do. I pray you
Amen.
do. I pray you do, sis. I really
Amen.
do pray you do. So
Amen.
guys, this is where we draw the curtain on
Yes.
today's episode of Coffee on the Couch. Listen, beautiful, healthy relationships are out there for us to explore and to enjoy. If you think you need help, link up. Speak to any of us. Speak to a professional that can help you. Until I come your way again next week with another interesting episode of Coffee on the Couch. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Go through this week with the confidence and assurance that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. The Lord bless you. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.
Bye.